Mr. Jason Stewart. Jason, welcome, man. You had a big fight and on a great date, 11/11, right?
Yeah,
So,
11/11/22. Easy to remember.
When scheduling this fight, like, did it go into that day? I know your birthday.
Oh well, yeah. So we do every 3 months, and so you kind of look and see what weekends would make the most sense. And so if we could have done it a week before, a week after, if I see that date, I definitely pick that date. Because it's, you're a consumer, you're busy. I get invited to events all the time, and then I look and they pass, and I really wanted to go, but it's just like the date didn't stick, and so many other things happening. And so it's a little bit easier when you get a 11/11 date or something that's super easy to where it's just like, you could say it a couple times to someone and they won't forget.
Man, I love the number 11. I'm JD11 Network.
You're JD11. I'm born on 111.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm big into numbers. I know your daughter, she's big in numbers too, right? She's a spiritual teacher. I know her prices are like 33, 33, 44, 44.
Yeah, for her skincare line. Shout out to
Yeah.
Ethical Body Care, my daughter Jasmine, my oldest daughter.
I'm big into numbers too, man. So I mean, it's on 11/11/22. It's probably gonna be the best fight in history, right? The numbers say so. But yeah, we got to talk about it. There's 6 title fights right now. There's supposed to be 7. Santiago.
Is there?
There's 6 title fights. You didn't know that?
No.
Shout out to Harvey, right?
That's
fucking crazy.
That's like every weight class.
I know. Well, obviously, the main event, Coda's going to be in it, and then Orozco. We finally got Orozco an opponent at 170.
Thank God.
Or 185. Yeah. Iron Butterfly is going to be fighting Kiana the Cub Montenegro. You saw her, Valkyrie. She's really good.
She's really tough. I'm excited for that fight.
Yeah, they have a couple other title fights, but which one are you most excited for?
Well, Coda and Anthony Orozco. Those are the 2 studs, man.
Yeah.
Like, I look at these guys and I've competed before, and whenever I look at guys like that, it's just like I could just picture myself being face to face with them or training for a fight, knowing every day that you're training, knowing that would be your opponent.
Yeah.
And those are the guys that give me the chills, like putting myself in that place. And so those are the guys that I'm so excited to fight. And I'm so excited, like, what's going on in their opponent's mind. And so they're so brave for stepping up to the plate, because these guys are really skilled, really confident, and they truly believe that they're not going to lose. They truly believe that they're going to dominate, not just beat, but dominate their opponent.
Yeah.
And they're, people talk a lot of crap, not a lot of people back it up. People say they're going to get in shape, not a lot of people do the workout. People say they're going to knock somebody out, but not a lot of people do it. And these guys have followed through so far 100% of the time. And so whenever somebody's doing the Babe Ruth of MMA and they're saying, I'm going to knock out first round, and they do it, you can't help but want to be glued to every move they make during that fight.
Yeah.
You're pumped up leading up to that fight.
Yeah. Anthony Orozco, let's talk about him first. It's been so hard to get him an opponent.
I just said today before I came here, I was saying to a girlfriend of mine, I was just like, I would hate to fight that guy.
Oh man,
because he's around my size. You know what I mean? And I was just like, and I go to the gyms and I've trained with the fighters, and I'll roll with them and spar with them and stuff. And it's usually not a big deal, and I can hold my own. And I've been doing this a long time, and I've never rolled with him. I said, I would hate to fight that guy. I would hate to roll with that guy. And then afterwards, I was like, that probably means I should do it. It would get me out of my comfort zone.
You would be willing to fight Anthony Orozco, maybe?
Yeah, in the gym, you know what I mean? Just go over there and roll around with him, and I'm sure he'd whoop my ass, but yeah, let him beat up on me a little bit just to kind of feel it. I'm one of those crazy people too that enjoy getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
I love competing.
It makes you feel alive.
I love adrenaline. It makes me feel alive. But gosh, it would be like, I mean, because I talked to some people over there, and he's not experienced in jiu-jitsu at all. And that's usually like, you can't even compete in MMA unless you got a year or 2 of like intense jiu-jitsu training.
And that's your strong suit, right? You're
and I'm pretty good at jiu-jitsu, and he doesn't have that. But everyone says like he takes everyone's back though. He doesn't need the jiu-jitsu experience to take the back because he has that experience from wrestling. And so he's like, you could put him with any black belt, any high-level black belt. He might not tap them out, but he'll take their back. That's a scary thought, to be able to do that at will.
I never thought I'd be asking you this in an interview, but since we're on the topic, so you said you'd fight him in the gym. Dana White and who was it, Tito Ortiz, like they had serious beef. They were talking about doing a boxing match for fun. I know you love money. If the money was right, would you ever fight one of your fighters for a big fight? You're kidding.
Of course.
Could you fight epic fighting? Like, would Camo allow that?
I don't know if they'd allow. Maybe exhibition. You know what I mean? I don't know if the promoter's allowed to fight in his own thing, but it's all exhibition anyway, usually on those things. When you see the Mike Tyson fights and a lot of these fights, they're all considered exhibition fights. They're not like
Okay,
true.
we're getting some. We're
true
getting
sanctioned
some
bouts.
We got to set.
But I'm
up.
pro, so
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but yeah, I would love it. You know. Now I haven't been inside one of these MMA gyms in 6-12 months. You know, I haven't done any training lately. But whenever I do show up, it's usually 6 months in between my last time training. You could ask Harvey's seen me roll with some of these guys. Like I hold my own. I play around with them. I talk a lot of shit. It's fun.
This is incredible.
It's exciting.
Who would you call out right now? Maybe for the future. In like a year, you fight someone. Who would you like to fight? That would move the needle, be a big fight.
Oh man,
This is crazy.
I don't know. I can't think of calling out any of the fighters, but I don't know.
Okay,
like, I'd have to think of what weight class I would be.
What do you walk around at right now?
I'm probably like 190, 195.
Okay, so would you want to cut to middleweight, 185?
I'd have to cut at least the middleweight. Yeah, that's not even a cut. Yeah, 170 would be more intense. Yeah. That would be a really intense cut. But yeah, 185 maybe would be super easy.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that'd be not taking it seriously too. If I was taking it seriously, any fighter my size is cutting to at least 170, maybe even 155.
How long of a training camp would you need?
Well, like right now I'm not training every day. So I used to train every day no matter what. You know, when I say training, you know, training doesn't mean just working out. I'm in shape right now.
Yes.
I'm not in fighting shape. There's a big difference. Whenever people are like, oh yeah, you're in shape, you could fight. No, you can't. Like, I don't care how much you bench. I don't care like what, you know, oh, you're killing it on the Stairmaster. That is not the same as fighting shape. Now, when I go to the gyms, I'm using my experience and I'm being lazy. I'm fighting lazy usually. I'm blocking stuff. I'll try to get me, letting them wear their stuff out. But anytime I've ever, you know, typically competed in the past, and we're going back years, you know, decade even, or more, I was training some type of fighting all the time. You know, I'm doing jiu-jitsu a couple times a week at least. I'm doing some type of sparring. And then whenever I would do my workouts, it was a more intense pace. You know what I mean? I'm doing, you know, kettlebell swings to burpees to that type of stuff that simulates a fight. Right now, I'm not in that type of shape. So it would probably take me a little bit longer. But typically I just kind of stayed in shape. So I would literally take my daughter to a tournament and compete on that tournament without being signed up for it. Incredible. But I would stay in shape to where I could do that. And the reason why I started doing that is I noticed back then I was a lot more in the hustle. I was a hustle guy. Now I'm more like an alignment, attract you what you want, you know, manifest things. But back then it's hustle, 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 go hard. I can go harder than anyone, right? I can be the most disciplined. I can wake up early. I can train harder. And with that mentality, I found myself very irritable. Like, because I'm always thinking that whoever I might fight at this tournament or at this fight, or whether it be a jiu-jitsu or pancration or MMA, whatever it is, they might be training right now. What are they doing that I'm not doing? So it made me irritable. It made me not as fun to be around my kids and stuff like that. And so what I started doing is I would just my daughter was going to all these pancration and jiu-jitsu tournaments. So I would show up with her and then I would just be like, hey, is there any openings in any divisions that would work for me? And then they would just throw me in there and I would usually know the guys running it. And that way there wasn't that tension leading up. And then I would just jump in and compete. And I would usually do well. I've won a lot more than I've lost.
That's incredible. I'll tell Harvey. I think maybe he can get you a fight one of these days. I'll tell Harvey.
This guy.
But yeah, I mean, since we just talked about Harvey, what are your thoughts that this guy does, you know, because sometimes like in the UFC, like they won't want to throw all these title fights at once. They want to, you know, save them for other cards. Harvey had 7 title fights lined up. Originally, Santiago Luna and Jonathan Wilson were scheduled to fight.
That would be an amazing fight.
That would be a great fight. But
I hope we find an opponent.
That's going to happen. Yeah. Well, the Luna Wilson fight is going to happen in February. But still, 6 title fights. What are your thoughts on Harvey doing that instead of wanting to say, okay, let's save this for February or something for another time?
I mean, the thing is we're not doing these fights every week. We're doing them every 3 months.
Right.
And if somebody wants your belt, you need to step up and defend that belt.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't go to, you know, if you miss 2, then you're basically going 9 months without defending your belt, right? Because you got the belt, you missed this one, and the next one. That's 9 months apart. And so, yeah, man, we're only doing every 3 months. Then the chance of that person needing to fight and defend that belt, people want the belt. And there's people that, you know, sometimes people get lucky and there's someone who is a title holder or that, you know, was going against the title holder and for whatever reason they vacate or whatever. And then we just need to find him an opponent. This guy gets injured. This guy doesn't make weight or something. And so those people get lucky. But there's a lot of people that, you know, and with that said, if they get lucky and beat the champ, then they earned it, you know? So they might have got lucky and people feel they don't deserve a title shot. Well, we'll know if you deserve the title shot or not, because if you win the title, no one can say anything.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you don't want to go too long without that belt being up for grabs. Like that's a very meaningful thing in any sport. You know, having the top trophy or the top belt, that's a meaningful thing. So yeah, constantly defending them.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I would say to fighters. You could tell the fighters that are the real champs when they win the belt and they defend it 2, 3, 4 times. Those are the people that are like, you know, they're real.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times we started making rules and stuff around it because so many people would win the belt and maybe they would get lucky and not even have like a too hard of an opponent because XYZ would happen or for whatever reason. Maybe they were great, but they won the belt and then they just leave. They want to go try to win something else somewhere else. It's like, no, you need to defend your belt.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love with any promotion is when the person wins the belt and then they're still just as excited and hungry to defend it. Yeah. Because they say you're not a champ till you've defended the belt.
Right, yeah.
You know?
That's a rarity in Epic. I mean, this obviously happened. Anthony Silva's defended his belt. Max Gamboa defended his belt. Max Gamboa and Santiago Luna were talking about a super fight happening. There was going to be a press conference at San Ysidro High School where Santiago Luna went to school. Obviously, he's the border boy. But then Max is now pro. You knew that, right? He's now going pro. He has a fight in Tahiti in a couple weeks.
If that fight, for some reason, hopefully it happens because I love my guys in Tahiti. I was even thinking of flying out there to see it. But anytime I say if the person's, you know, whatever debut doesn't happen or whatever, and then we'll always try to match another fight with them before the next one.
Oh, man, Max was great. He's a great company guy. Harvey loves him. I mean,
oh my gosh, he comes out to what does he come out to? Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
Dun, dun. And I remember first time I heard his music, I was just like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then it takes you a second. Isn't that one song? And then all of a sudden they do that Sweet Caroline part, and and he's a draw. He's a
big nude.
And so then everyone goes crazy with it, and all of a sudden the vibes are just so good. He's got such like happy, positive, let's all party together. Yeah. Even before the fight, where most people are just in like, murder mode. He's just like happy go lucky. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a drink before the fight.
Yeah.
And he performs.
Yeah.
Man, he performs.
Great.
And he's got a huge backing. So yeah, we love that guy.
Yeah, it's like, imagine how many people he'd bring out to the fights if he lived in San Diego. They're all coming up from Orange County. And he's like, he's
I didn't realize that.
You didn't know that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a needle mover for sure.
He brings 100 people from Orange County. That's a lot of influence. Yeah. Got a tight-knit network.
Yeah, no, he's already talking about going to this pro promotion in Anaheim and, being the main event, selling it out. So I think he can do it.
He'll kill it.
But yeah, it's this card. I mean, obviously we talk about the 6 title fights, but top to bottom, it's sick. You have Gio Meyer on it. You have David Grostic on it.
David Grostic.
David Grostic's really
I like
good.
that kid.
He's really good.
First time I interviewed him, I was like, this is an interesting guy. Something works different up here. And I think for a lot of people, that something working different you can feel, weird or feel like you're not special. And I think he's learned that that's what makes him special. And he's capitalizing on that. And he knows how to, to channel his chi and to use it for positive.
Yes, I totally agree.
He's the kind of kid that like, I can only, we talked a little bit about it, so I can kind of speak somewhat on it, but he was, hard to sit down. And he's kind of like is this kid going to be like a star or in jail? And it looks like he's going the positive direction. You know what I mean? And like, I'd love to watch that guy. I watch all his social media and stuff, and he's just like, he's killing it at these jiu-jitsu tournaments. He'll fight anyone at any amount of notice, and combat jiu-jitsu. He's slapping the shit out of these guys on the ground. And yeah, he's a beast. Yeah. I think he's one of our more underrated fighters.
Absolutely. That guy's going to be a future champ for sure. One of the reasons why I love doing MMA interviews so much and being in the scene is because I'm so inspired by the work ethic. And we were just talking about David. This guy wakes up at 5 a.m. every day, goes to the gym, and then goes to jiu-jitsu at 7 a.m. He's always in bed by 10. His diet is phenomenal. I mean, it's very inspiring. Just you were that way too at one point. How hard is that to be in a routine where you're waking up at 5 a.m., but also getting adequate sleep?
Yeah, so I feel like, fear and also a positive vision are the two greatest motivators. So when you're thinking, fear can stem a lot of ways with a lot of goals. There's this fear of not reaching that goal. Mm-hmm. But when not reaching the goal means someone's whooping your ass, then that's a little extra motivation, right? Because like if he doesn't do all that, he's gonna get his ass kicked. He potentially is gonna get his ass kicked in the cage. Mm-hmm. And so fear is a great motivator, but also the positive vision. The positive vision is, what does it look like with my hand raised? How does that feel? And then you have something. So fear, you're kind of like, okay, I'm gonna push and I'm gonna do it. But the positive vision pulls you. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is exciting. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be the champ. I can be champion of the world. Mm-hmm. I can make a living doing this. I could, this could change my whole future. I could be famous, whatever it is that makes you want to be. And for a lot of people, it's just testing themselves, testing to be the best version of themselves. But it's still that feeling of winning that fight is so exciting. When I was starting Epic Fighting, I had 2 consistent dreams, AKA nightmares, depending on which one it was. And one was, the whole place was filled with people. And I'd literally just doze off because I wasn't sleeping a lot. I didn't work out for 6 months, during the time where I was building Epic at my first few shows. Yeah. I just everything was just like, boom, I was spending less time with my kids than usual. And I spent a lot of time with them. Yeah. And it was just like, I'm building something that's bigger than me. But before I had my first event, there was this vision of this place packed. And it was like 1,000 people there. And everyone's going, thank you so much. Thank you for putting my fighter in the car. I'm getting positive comments from fans, from fighters, from coaches, and everybody just loved this event. And that was just this vision that kept happening. Then there was this other vision that someone's tapping on my shoulder, and I'm like, what? I'm trying to get ready to open the doors. They're like, we're supposed to open the doors an hour ago. There's still like hardly no one here. Should we just start the fights? And it was just this fear of like, what if no one shows up? Mm-hmm. What if the fighters are like, thanks for nothing? Like no one even got to watch my fight. And so luckily, either way, it would have been deja vu. Luckily, it was the positive deja vu. The first fight happened and there was 1,000 people there. And so that vision, so I had one vision pushing me, like I would wake up in a panic at 2 a.m. and go start putting flyers up. And the other one was pulling me to where I was just like, oh, wow, this could really be something. This could be something that changes people's lives. And for fighters and myself, whenever I've had a goal, the positive vision works better, but if you have both, you're getting pushed and pulled.
I'm curious to see what you say about this, and I know you're very passionate about inspiring people. You talk about fear being a great motivator, but on the other side, fear can be a massive detriment. And,
absolutely.
A lot of people live in fear. Future events already ruined, false evidence appearing real. Your advice to people that live in fear on a daily basis about what people are going to say or think about them, or just fear in general?
Well, fear is a form of stress. And with stress, you have 2 options. You can do something about it or not do something about it. And eustress is a productive stress. So eustress means, oh, shoot, I have to get this done. Let's do it. When you're thinking of stress, you're usually stressing about something you can or can't do something about. If you can do something about it, instead of stressing, turn that energy into action and do something about it. If you can't do anything about it, then why are you stressing? Yeah. So there's certain things you need to let go of. I have no control over that. And there's certain things you need to take action on. I'm not going to sit back here and worry that this event might not sell out, that this event I could lose money. I'm going to take action and I'm going to see how I can add value to another sponsor. I'm going to see how I can promote and market it better. And you're going to take action on it. And so courage is not the absence of fear. So many people think that when you're brave, it's like that guy's fearless. No, that's not fear. Matter of fact, if you're going into a fight and you have no fear, you're probably mentally on the spectrum somewhere. You probably are crazy. You probably need to be in an insane asylum. Wow. It's having the fear and facing it. So all courage is facing fear. So everyone has a certain amount of fear. Everyone has things they're scared of. Everyone has things that's uncomfortable. Well, I got to call this many people to make a sell. Oh, that's uncomfortable. That's scary. What if they say no? But it's the people that face that fear and do it that are successful salespeople. So when you face your fear, you become an actual brave, courageous person. And when you're doing things that are out of your comfort zone, they say you can measure success by the frequency and distance that you leave your comfort zone. So if this is your comfort zone and you step out to here often, good. If you step way out to here, even better. If you can step way out to here often, then that's going to be super uncomfortable, but it's going to create the most rapid and fulfilling change that's actually going to make you productive and shape you into a better human being, whatever that may be, right?
Well said. I think a lot of people need to hear that. I appreciate that. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Finest City Entertainment. They're the pay-per-view distributors, and their production is off the charts.
Yeah, we've been really lucky to keep them, to work with them. They're doing a crazy production.
Oh, it's amazing.
You know, people come up to me all the time and they're like, "Oh, so you know, how many pay-per-view sales do you need to get to break even? Because I know you're doing, you know, six-figure production, you know, $250,000 production." And you know, I'm just really blessed that we've been able to keep these guys on and you know, work with them for so long. They've been game changers. If anyone has a corporate event or some type of event where you need you know, the microphones, the lights, this type of production that you see behind us, if you want us to look really professional, if you want it to sound professional, it really makes a difference in your event. Definitely hire these guys. Yeah. These guys are, I mean, I can't really think of anyone that's higher level in San Diego County.
Absolutely, definitely not in San Diego. I'm a massive fight fan, so I watch UFC Fight Pass, and there's all these, you know, big money promotions, you know, and I'm not going to name any names, but I'm like, this is on UFC Fight Pass. There's millionaires behind this, but the production is like nowhere near Finest City Entertainment.
Yeah. We've had a lot of people do our production, but and some were better than others, but no one has been close to the level of them. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't have even known how to put this together the way that they do, and I just got really lucky. So please support them, you guys. We want to keep them as long as we can, and we can keep them longer if you guys hire them for your events. We love them. Finest City Entertainment, check them out.
Well, you're going to be buying the pay-per-view through them. Just any information.
And our pay-per-view is always epicfightinglive.com. So just go to epicfightinglive.com before a fight. You can order it. It is streamed. Yeah. We've got celebrity commentators. A lot of celebrities that are legends in the MMA game started commentating for us. Some of them have only commentated for us.
Yeah, Juliana.
You know, Juliana Killer Miller, who's now famous. You know, she started fighting for us. She's been commentating for us before she was famous. Phil Davis never commentated for anyone but us. And
former UFC title challenger.
Oh, yeah.
And Bellator champion.
Yeah, Bellator champ, Phil Davis.
Yeah.
Jake Shields. Jake Shields has only commentated for us. So, yeah.
Stephen Bonner, too.
Stephen Bonner is not a commentator. No.
Oh, he didn't.
Stephen Bonner?
Stephen Bonner?
Oh, yeah.
He
Stephen
commentated
Bonner.
for you guys.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of who was I thinking of? What's his name? It'll come to me. Stephen Bonner commentated for us. He's commentated for us a few times, and some of them, if you want to go back and see something entertaining. And then we also had
Chris Lieben, right? Didn't he?
Chris Lieben's commentated for us a whole bunch.
The Crippler.
He's a natural. Dean Lister, you know, legend. MMA and especially jiu-jitsu. He's commentated for us. So we've got a ton. Jesse Taylor, Bruno Machado, who used to fight for us. You know, so we have a lot of big name commentators. So the point is that you guys will have a really good time watching the pay-per-view. We switch out commentators every few fights, and they're fun to listen to.
Well, I'll be commentating. I'm not that famous though, but I'll be commentating.
But he does a great job.
Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. But yeah, make sure you buy the pay-per-view. If you're not going to buy the pay-per-view, then you have to come in person. One or the other.
If you can make it in person, definitely come in person. There's nothing that will match the energy of being there. Everyone who's come says the same thing. Wow, I didn't know it was like this. I can't tell you how many people are like, whoa, I had no idea. Man. They've seen the pay-per-view, they've seen the videos, they've heard about it. But until you go and you feel the energy that's there, and I've been to several promotions and, you know, I'll give my honest opinion every time. We even went to UFC and we were kind of like at a few points falling asleep and loved what they've done for the sport and everything like that. But at our promotion, it's back-to-back fights. We have more fights than any other promotion that I've seen. Yeah. And they're just back-to-back, high energy. Harvey knows how to match them up. Yeah. And we know, with the help of Finest City Entertainment and our DJs and our announcers, how to have a party. So we make it an event that even if you're not an MMA fan, you're going to love the energy and you're going to have a really good time there.
It's seriously the best show in San Diego. And it's the only San Diego-based MMA promotion. This has been here for 12 years now, right? A dozen years?
Yeah, going on 13.
A dozen years, 51 events. You deserve some kudos for that, sir. I mean, how many MMA promotions have been here and only had a few events? Only in San Diego. We're San Diego homegrown. If you support San Diego sports, then you have to support Epic Fighting. See you 11/11/22. A great number, so it's going to be a great fight night.
Boom.